The world is divided into two categories, the players and the pieces. You have felt this your entire life. You walk into a room and you feel invisible. You see certain people command attention without speaking. They get the opportunities. They get the respect. They get the power. And you work harder. You try to be nicer. You try to be competent. But you are ignored. You are left wondering why your talent isn't enough, why your goodness isn't rewarded. Here is the brutal truth society is too polite to say out loud. Power does not care about your intentions. It only responds to your leverage. You have been trying to connect with powerful people by being a friend. But powerful people do not need more friends. They need assets. They need mirrors. They need protection. If you want to enter the circles where real decisions are made, you have to kill the part of you that seeks validation. You have to stop asking for permission to exist. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote The Prince over 500 years ago, not as a guide for evil men, but as a manual for reality. He understood that human nature, at its core, is driven by self-interest, fear, and vanity. Ignore this truth, and you will always be a pawn. Master it, and you become the hand that moves the pieces. In the next few minutes, we are going to dismantle the lies you've been told about networking. We are going to explore Machiavelli's 13 ruthless laws of connection. These are not tips. They are psychological weapons. By the end of this, you will no longer look at a powerful person and see a superior. You will see a puzzle, and you will hold the only key that unlocks it. But be warned. Once you see the strings, you can never return to being a puppet. Most people fail because they approach power with an open hand, begging for a favor. They believe connection is about being yourself. That is a lie. Being yourself is a luxury for those who already have power. For those still climbing the mountain, connection is about strategic adaptation. It is about becoming exactly what the other person needs to see, until you are so embedded in their world that they cannot function without you. But how do you do this without losing your soul? How do you influence the elite without becoming a sycophant? The answer lies in a psychological concept called the void. But to understand the void, you must first understand the laws. Let's begin. Law 1. Never outshine the master. The first mistake you make is trying to impress. You meet someone influential, and your ego takes control. You want to show how smart you are, how capable you are, how much you know. You believe this earns respect. It does not. It breeds insecurity. Powerful people are often the most fragile. Their identity is built on being the smartest, the strongest, or the most visionary person in the room. If you enter shining too brightly, you do not look like an asset. You look like a threat. Machiavelli warned us, it is always dangerous to appear better than your superiors. When you make your superior look bad, or even slightly lesser by comparison, you trigger their survival instinct. They will bury you, not because you are incompetent, but because you are dangerous to their ego. So what is the strategy? Dim your light. Make them look brilliant. When you offer an idea, frame it so it feels like their idea. Ask questions that allow them to deliver the answer. Feed their vanity. This is not weakness. This is camouflage. By letting them feel superior, you lower their defenses. You become safe. And once you are safe, you are allowed inside the walls. While they admire their own reflection, you quietly observe their weaknesses, learn their patterns, and secure your position. Let them take the glory, you take the influence. Law 2, conceal your intentions. A predictable man is a controllable man. If I know what you want, I know how to use you. If you want money, I can buy you. If you want praise, I can flatter you. Most people wear their desires. On their face, they approach powerful people and their eyes scream, I need something from you. This reeks of desperation, and desperation repels power. To connect with power, you must become a cipher. Machiavelli advised, keep your intentions hidden. Be unreadable when you enter a room. Do not reveal your endgame. Talk about everything except business, art, philosophy, their interests, the wine, anything that humanizes the interaction. Make them wonder why you were there. Mystery creates attraction. When they cannot figure out what you want, curiosity takes over. They project their own desires onto you. They begin chasing the puzzle. Never show your cards until the pot is already yours. Be friendly, be open, be charming, but keep the core of your ambition locked in a vault no one can see. The less they know about your motives, the more power you hold. Law 3, appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. This is where nice people lose. You need a favor, a mentor, an investment. So you tell your struggle story, you talk about hardship, about fairness, about deserving a chance. They might smile, they might nod, but nothing happens. Why? Because mercy is a burden. Powerful people are busy. They are attacked daily with requests. If they helped everyone who deserved it, they would collapse. Machiavelli was clear, it is better to be needed than liked. Do not ask for favors, offer value. Disguise transactions as alliances. Find what they need, a rival they want crushed, a problem they cannot solve, a project that is quietly failing. Position yourself as the solution. Speak about their interests, not your needs. Now you are no longer a beggar, you are a partner. Self-interest is the only universal language. Speak it fluently. Doors open. Law. 4. The art of strategic absence. We live in a world of constant availability. You reply instantly. You say yes to every meeting. You are always present. You believe this shows commitment. It doesn't. It signals low value. Economic law applies to human behavior. Scarcity creates value. If you are always available, you are common. And common things are cheap. Powerful people respect time because it is the only resource they cannot buy more of. When you give your time away freely, you tell them it is worthless. Machiavelli knew that a ruler seen too often becomes ordinary. You must learn to withdraw. Be warm when you are present, be fully engaged. Make them feel like the only person in the room, and then disappear. Do not answer the phone on the first ring. Do not be available for coffee next Tuesday. Have a life, have a mission, have a schedule that does not orbit them. This does two things. First, it proves you have value in other options. Second, it creates an open loop in their mind. They begin wondering where you are, what you are doing, who you are with. Your absence occupies space in their thoughts, and when you return, your presence feels like a reward, not an obligation. Use absence to ignite respect. Law 5. The mirror of Narcissus. Everyone is in love with themselves. Even the most humble-looking leader is deeply attached to their worldview. They want to be understood. They crave confirmation of their reality. Most people try to connect by talking about themselves. That is noise. To connect with power, you must become a mirror. Reflect their image back to them, slightly refined. If they speak fast and aggressively, you match the pace. If they are slow and thoughtful, you slow down. Match posture, match breathing, match vocabulary. If they use war metaphors, you use war metaphors. If they use sports language, you do the same. This is not mimicry. It is neurological alignment. Their subconscious concludes, he is like me, and therefore he understands me. People do not want to be challenged. They want to be validated. Be the confirmation of their brilliance. When they look at you, let them see the best version of themselves reflected back. They become attached to your presence, because no one else makes them feel this understood. Law 6. Become the gatekeeper of information. In the old world, land was power. In the modern world, information is power, but not public information. Private information. Powerful people are isolated. They are surrounded by yes-men who filter reality. They are starving for truth, for raw intelligence. If you bring unfiltered insight, you become indispensable. You become their eyes and ears. A competitor's next move. A flaw no one mentions. A shift they haven't seen yet. Do not gossip. Be an intellectual scout. Curate information that protects them or gives them an edge. When you trade in insight, your status rises. You are no longer an outsider, you are a co-conspirator. And no bond is stronger than shared secrets. But never reveal all your sources. Maintain control of the supply. If they can get the information without you, they no longer need you. Hide the tree, deliver the fruit. Law 7, the law of the useful enemy. Nothing binds faster than a shared enemy. Humans are tribal by nature. We bond through opposition. If you want connection, discover what they despise: inefficiency, bureaucracy, a rival ideology, the status quo. Align with that frustration. Validate it. I see the problem too. When you validate their enemy, you validate their struggle. You validate their identity as a hero. You are saying, I see the dragon you're fighting. But do not be blindly negative. It must feel righteous. Us versus chaos. Us versus mediocrity. This creates a private alliance. In that imaginary battlefield, loyalty forms quickly. Law 8, play to their fantasy. People do not live in reality. They live in who they believe they should be. The ruthless executive sees himself as a protector. The chaotic artist sees herself as a visionary. The insecure leader sees himself as a savior. Your task is to identify the fantasy and support it. If they want to be the teacher, you become the student. Ask for advice. Let them. Explain. If they want to be the rebel, you become the accomplice. If they want to be the king, you become the loyal knight. Do not force reality on them. Reality is painful. That is why power exists, to shield them from it. If you uphold their illusion, they will protect you fiercely. Because without you, the fantasy collapses. You become the pillar holding their self-image in place. This is manipulation. But remember, this is not friendship. This is power. And power is theater. Learn the role. Deliver the performance. Law 9, master emotional alchemy. Power lives under pressure, stress, responsibility, constant risk. Most people add to the chaos. They bring problems, urgency, noise. To become untouchable, you must be calm. When they are frantic, you slow down. When they are angry, you stay grounded. You absorb disorder and return clarity. I understand the issue. It's handled. Those words remove weight. Relief is addictive. You become a sanctuary. They seek you out not for strategy, but for peace. In noise, be silence. In fire, be water. Lower their stress, and your value rises. Law 10, assume formlessness. Rigid identities shatter. Flexible ones survive. When dealing with power, ego is a liability. Some days you lead, some days you follow, some days you dominate, some days you yield. Do not cling to a fixed self. Formlessness is defense. If you have no shape, you cannot be struck. Adapt to their culture. Formal environment, dress sharp. Casual environment, blend in, remove friction. The perfect insider looks ordinary until the moment they matter most. Law 11, create dependence. This is the ultimate law. Make yourself necessary. If you can be replaced easily, you are disposable. Integrate yourself into what they cannot lose. A relationship, a system, a function only you control. Become the bridge, and bridges are never burned. Do not teach everything you know. Keep the skill rare. The more peace they associate with you, the more power you hold. The goal is not independence. It is entanglement. You want them to think, what happens if he's gone? When that thought appears, you have leverage. Law 12, control the options. True power designs choices. Never present chaos. Curate decisions. Option A, risk. Option B, reward. Guide the logic. They decide. But you built the road. This is the illusion of control. You are the architect. They are the authority. Law 13, radical autonomy. This is the paradox that makes everything work. To connect with power, you must not need it. Neediness is visible, and it destroys leverage. Build your own foundation. Have something to walk back to. The one willing to walk away controls the table. This energy shifts everything. Your voice steadies. Your posture firms. Your presence solidifies. Power recognizes solidity. Be whole, not hungry. Take a breath. Yes, this sounds cold. Yes, it is calculated. But look at the world. Was it built on fairness or on strategy and understanding human nature? You have a choice. Remain innocent or take the wheel. Machiavelli was not evil. He was honest. These laws are not chains, they are keys. But keys mean nothing without the discipline to turn them. The world wants you asleep, compliant, invisible. If you refuse, if you sharpen your mind, then stop watching from the outside. Step in. Welcome to the inner circle.